All right, everyone. Now let's start creating with Figma. So in this video, we are going to go through some bunch of tools in Figma. So these tools are what you are going to be using to create design. Okay, and this is where they are all located. This is the toolbar. So this toolbar allows us to create any type of design in Figma. As far as we are onto Figma design. Before I continue, please, you can see that we have tabs here. We have draw, we have design, and we have motions. And also we have dev mode. Okay. So make sure that you are in design mode. If you go to motion now, you'll be seeing different thing here. Okay. That's not our interest in here. So let's go to design. And if you have draw, of course, you're going to be seeing things like pencils that you can use to draw. If you're an artist, maybe you are all this illustrator or something. That's not our aim here. All we have interest in for now is design. Okay. So we are still on the playground. Okay. And this playground now, okay, actually don't want us to be creating stuff in here because this particular file is just for me showing you how to create a draft file in Figma. So I'm going to go to our project now. This is our project. So I can be explaining stuff here. We also have the same thing, of course. We also have the same tool around. It's the same Figma. And we are still in the same design mode. So what I want us to do now is I want us to go through all of these things. So let's start with the move tool. These are the move tools. So if I click on this drop down, I will see them. We have move, we have hand tool, and we have scale. Okay. So let's start with move. And I'm going to be showing you or telling you the shortcut to each of them. So the shortcut for that is V, letter V. So if you press V on your keyboard, this will be selected. And if you press H, the hand tool will be selected. Like this. You can see that's changed to hand tool. And if I press K on my keyboard, the scale tool will be selected. So let's start with the move tool. Okay, so if you have anything in your Figma, you can use this move tool to move them. So let me go to frame 2. We are still coming to that. And I draw a frame now. So if I'm on my move tool now, then I can move that all around. That's why it is called move tool. Okay, so let me just, let me leave it. And I'm going to rename it. Always rename your theme. So if you want to rename, you can rename in different ways. You can double click here and then you can call it, let's just say first at board, like this. Okay. So this artboard now, right, is our first artboard. If you go to this place, you see N2. So N2 just allow us to palm around. Okay. So here now we can move the entire canvas all around. Unlike the move tool that allow us to select this particular one like this, right? We can also palm around. Okay, that's just that one, right? Now, if you right click and you are dragging like me like this, you can palm around. Okay, and then we have the scale tool. So the scale tool just allow you to enlarge a particular element of your design. It could be frame like this, it could be shape, it could be anything at all. It could be text. Okay. So now let's make this a little bit smaller. It's too big now. I'm going to make it 1440 like this. So this 1440 is a standard size of a desktop screen size. All right. So if I zoom in, as I'm zooming in, I'm just using my mouse to zoom in. As I zoom in now, this is 4040. In fact, this is too big. So I'm going to draw a rectangle now. Go to this tool. This is called the shape tool. Okay, so go click R. That's rectangle. And then right click and drag like this. So here you can see we have a shape. Go to the fit tab in here. Make sure that you select it. Rectangle 1 is selected now. If I let me rename it to R1. So you can get used to the culture of always naming your layer. We are still coming back to layer, by the way. So here now, I'm going to give it any color of my choice. Let me go with, I like blue, Chase Evans. So this color now, this color blue now, you can see we have the text code here. So I want to make it small than what it is now. So let's give it like 400 width and 400 height. Okay, so I can use that one to explain scaling for you guys. So here now, in this scale now, we are in move to now. So I'm going to go to scale back again. So here you can see we have this width 400 by 400. So if you want to make it 800 by 800, you can actually type it like this, 800 like this, okay? And if you want to lock the aspect ratio, you can just click in here. And then if you this one by this 800, this one to be adjusted. The height will be adjusted accordingly. Okay, but that's a long way. You can use scale to just do that. You can see under scale here, we have width, we have height, and here we have scale menu. So you can just go in here and click 2 times. 2 times just means that this will be increased times 2. Okay, and 400 times 2 will give you what? 800. That's what it means. Okay, let me plug in my PC. It's about to off. All right, and if you wanted to make it 3, then you have 1200 and so on and so forth. So this is very handy in some cases that you don't want to be maneuver with. You don't want to be adjusting the dimension manually. You can just use scale, especially when it's come to text, right? So that's it for that particular one. That's very simple. Well, you are going to be using this one all the time. The move tool and the scale tool, you are going to get used to it as time goes on. So let me just drag this one into one side. Okay, good. And let's go to these tools, regions tools. And we have 3 tools here too. We have the frame tool, we have section, and we have slice. So this slice is not very common. It's not very commonly used. So let's just focus on frame, which is what you're going to be using all the time. You can see, I think by now I already created about 3 frames since the first lecture. So it's very common. We are going to be using it all the time. And there's section. So what are frames in Figma? Frames in Figma are just like page. When you are, not like page, please. When you are dealing with Microsoft Word, they are just like a group, right? How would I even explain that? Let me just explain it this way. You know, we have group and then we have frame. But frame is just like a box. Yeah, good. That's the word I was looking for. A box that you can put something inside. You can see here, right? I created a frame and I put a rectangle inside. So frame is just like a box that you can put something inside. So if it is a normal physical box now, you know, you can put a cup inside that box. You can put iron inside that box. I am using what I can see in my room now as an example. You can also put clothes inside that box and you still have space left. That's a box for you. Okay? So let's create one frame now. Shortcut to that is F. So if you click F on your keyboard, if you are on the move to now and you click F, you're going to be taken to frame 2. And you can just right click here and drag. Okay? So you can see when you right click and drag, you have the dimension, you have the width, that's the size horizontally, and you have the height, that's the size vertically. Okay? So this is how to create frame in Figma, and you can give it any color of your choice. And we also have other features here or other attributes that you can use to modify it. We are going to go through each of them later on. So for now, we know how to create frame now, and we know what frame is. Frame is like a box that you can put anything inside. And if you put things inside there, you can have space left, just like inside of a box, okay? And if you want to enlarge the box, you can enlarge it no matter how you like, or whichever way you like, okay? So that's it, but we are not done yet. I'm going to go back to frame now. So if I click on frame now, you can see we have this design, right? Change to something different. And then we have phones, we have tablets, we have desktop, presentation, watch, paper, social media, and we have design, Figma community, and we have archive, okay? Let's start with phone. You see, the phone that you are using in your hand, the screen has some dimensions, okay? From iPhone 17 to 17 Pro, to iPhone 16 to 16 Pro, even to some Android here. Now, Figma, they are now releasing some of the Android here because iPhone is now common. And some Android have the same screen size with some iPhone. But we still have Android Compact and Android Medium here. So the screen of that particular Android is pre-made in Figma as a frame. So in case you want to design for one particular phone, you can easily, just bring it out here. That's what this one for. So I'm just going to right-click on iPro 17. And you can see we have it here. So this is the size of the screens of iPhone 17. And you can see the width here, 402 by 874. So in case you want to design for that now, you can just do that easily without you having to struggle to go and be Googling or even taking ruler to mention it in real world. So this is how that is done. So I'm going to rename it. It's already set to iPhone. Let's just call it mobile screen. No? All right. So that's for that. And I'm going to go to frame again, click it again. You can see we have others, 16 and so on and so forth. You can play around with that. And we have tablets or tablets. So tablet screens is just like, just like you have tablet that is, the screen is more wider than phone. Okay. The same thing with here. I'm not a fan of Android. I don't really like to carry heavy load. We have iPad mini, 8.3, Surface Pro. We have iPad Pro 11 and so on and so forth. I don't even know this, all these screens the way they are. Well, let's just click on this iPad mini 8.3. So we have the screen here. So this screen that we have here now is this size of this iPad here. In case you are designing a responsive design, you want your design to look good on mobile, if it's a website, and to look good on iPad, you can use this one to sample the way it's going to look on the iPad here. All right. So let's rename this one to iPad 2 or tablet, sorry. And let's continue. I'm taking my time to explain this for you so that you can understand it because it's very common. And desktop, which is even most common. So we have desktop. What are desktop? Desktops are computer, like desktop on your desk. If you have desktop in your house or in your office, it's commonly used in the office. And then your laptop too is considered as desktop. It just have smaller width. Anything that you can use your desktop for, you can also use your laptop for it. Okay, that's your laptop is regarded as desktop too. Okay, so we have desktop, we have MacBook. If you're Apple guys, we have MacBook Air, we have MacBook Pro 14, MacBook Pro 16, and so on and so forth. And we have the normal desktop size. This is the normal standard desktop size that is, that are going to be using, that is available, that people use. Most of the desktop that you see on table or anywhere, this is that standard size, 1440 by 1024. Let me click it once so that we can have it here. So this is desktop screen. Desktop screen. That's 1440 by 1024. But the height is not really important because if you are designing for a website, the website is usually longer, so you can be scrolling. But then the width is much more important. Okay? So this is a desktop screen. And you also have other screens too. Okay? You have TV screens here. You have wireframe. This one is just a normal standard with the desktop. You have TV if you are using smart television. This is their most common screen dimension. Okay, 1280 by 720. That's why it is normally advisable for you to leave your video resolution to be in this category. So we also have presentation. We have slides in case you want to use things like Microsoft PowerPoint. And we have watch, the watch that you are using in your hand. I told you before in one of our intro class that smartwatch is also it's also work of interface design. If you have any app on your smartwatch, or you have application that need to communicate with any smartwatch, it is their work as a designer for you to be able to design that connection. So you have Apple smartwatch, and then all of these things are Apple. They are very common using Apple. So you can just select one of them and see how it look like. Of course, very small. This is usually their screen. And then we have other one like paper. If you want to print out, if you want to export your frame as PDF from Figma, so you can do that. We have A4, A5, A6 letter, and so on and so forth. And we have social media. In case you want to design for social media, all these things are in Figma. These things are in other software like Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Canva, and so on and so forth. Okay? And then we have Figma Community and Archive. So all these archive are things that you remove from this phone because there was a time that iPhone 13 was the one that is common. So now that it's not really common again, Figma remove it from phone and they put it in archive. So you get the whole idea. So that's it for frame. Okay? So you're going to be using frame a lot. Don't worry yourself about frame. And I hope at least you're understanding to a good extent here. But let's go to the next 2 here, which is section. So what are sections? So section is for you. as a designer to organize your design. Okay. And it also helps the developers too, because after you've designed, then developers are going to step in to come and develop your design. So you share them to your design link for them to see it. And usually most of you guys are going to be in a team. So they can even have access to your design from day one since you started designing to the last day. So in case you have, let's just say we have this mobile screen, I'm going to click on Hot and I'm going to drag to duplicate like this. So now here we have screen. We can call this one, let's just call this one sign up. Okay. And then let's call this one home. As an example though, home. And let's call this one like provide menu, provide. So I'm not going to do much here because you don't even know if I'm going to be doing extra thing that is difficult and I don't know how I'm going to be doing it. So let me just give it only the color. Go to the fit tab and give it color of your choice like this. Like this. Or you can give it something that is not in the same category. And then you can give it probably something like this. Okay. As an example. So let's say you are working on two applications, but you want the applications to be in the same file. So you can use Frame to do that. So let's say this application is just agricultural application. So just come to section and then click and drag like this. So this is section, right? So this section you can name it agri app like this. Agri app like this. And then maybe the other one is not going to be what? It's not going to be, let's say, finance app. Well, this is not common. This is not a good example. But let's just think about section as, let's say, this is a provide. So let's say we have provide, or let's say we have pricing. So let's say pricing list or pricing screen. So sometimes you can have different screens under pricing alone. So you can have pricing, let's say pricing low, pricing medium. I think this is a better example. And then we have pricing premium, or you can use high. So this one you can call it pricing. And the other section, this could be about the provide. So you can say provide image, and then you can have provide, let's say under the provide you can have maybe info, or let's just say maybe screen settings on provide, and then you can have other screen on provide that can just be provide language setting. So these are going to be under provide. Now you can call this one provide screens. So we have different section now. Okay, you can actually, just for us to be able to distinguish this thing. All right. So you can put this onto any screen that you like. It's totally up to you. But these things are going to be making sense as we keep on using Figma. All right. So I think we are going to stop here. So I don't want this video to be too long so that doesn't consume too much of your data. So next video, we are going to be continuing taking a look at and then we have also slide, of course. Slice. This one I don't really use it. I still know how to use it. But slice generally is if you want to export some part of your design. Okay. Let me see if I still know how that work. So let's say you have this desktop now, hot and drag. Okay, let's say we have put this thing to maybe to color. Instead of solid, I'm going to go with gradient now. If I'm doing this, this will make it to, please follow this thing along. So this will make it to use all these features as well. So let's put it for maybe orange, which is very common. Orange and blue. Okay. Something like this. This is not orange, this is red. That is yellow. So this is common. I don't want to waste time here. Close this one. Let me see how that last what we are still know. You see this slice now. If you want to maybe export only this particular place outside here, right? Does that even work? Let me see export JPEG. You can see now, only this particular area that I can export out. That's the work of Slice. But I don't use this one all the time, to be honest. If I want to export this frame as it is now, I don't have to use Slice. I will just reduce it like this, and I'll export it out, right? So it's kind of useful in some places too, but I don't use it all the time. So that's it for this video. And the next video, we are going to continue to shape 2 because shape is very, very important. Under the shape 2, we have all of this. Okay. So we are going to see them too in the next video. I will see you there.